Update: my ex, female 22, cheated on me, 21 male, with my childhood best friend, male 21. Original post. So here's my story about how I lost the love of my life, C, and my best friend Jay all in one day. It all started when I met C in grade 5 and I had a crush on her for years. Never getting to talk to her or anything as I was just figuring out these feelings, plus I knew I was an introvert from the beginning, barely having any real friends besides a group of 4, one of them being my best friend Jay. We did everything a kid could do, go camping, something I didn't really like but was fun with him, play video games, board games, sleepovers, all those things, and thought of him as a brother. It was he who had the courage to add her to our friend group. We grew closer as we got older. It was only in grade 9 that me and C were starting to get closer as friends. During high school, when we were both in grade 10, I finally got the courage to ask C out, and to my surprise and happiness, she said yes. Our first date was amazing, as I took her out to her favorite restaurant, which wasn't really expensive, but did have a big bill. Then we went skating, as she has always loved that, and that was one of the best memories I've ever had. Over the next 4 years, we had the best relationship, or at least I thought it was the best. It was only during year 3 of our relationship that C wanted to go to the next level, and so did I. But I was just so nervous about it that I never realized what was happening between my girlfriend and best friend until it was too late. I also stressed from the SATs that I didn't have enough time to spend with her either. It all came to a screeching halt when I not only passed my SATs, my nervousness about having sex went away with a letter, and I walked to her apartment to tell her the great news. I entered the elevator to go to her floor and walked to her door when I noticed it was open slightly. And so in a panic, I opened the door myself, not thinking straight and thinking she was in trouble, but found nothing. I walked around the apartment, but eventually I noticed the trail of clothes leading up to her bedroom door. If those weren't obvious, then the moans and screams of pleasure were. That was when I noticed a jacket on the ground, the very same one that I gave Jay on his 18th birthday. I saw only red when I thought that and barged into her room, where they were both shocked at my interruption, but C soon screamed in terror as I pulled Jay off of her and started beating him. I was never a violent person growing up, but this rage and betrayal turned me into someone I hope I could never be again. It's been 2 weeks since I caught Jay and C together, and I have been ignoring every message that they sent me, every call, voicemail they made, and even ignored their family's attempts at getting me to speak to them. I couldn't stand to be in the same room with them anymore. Every time I think of them, I just remember that day when I caught them. Hope you guys have any advice about what I should do next with them, because I don't. Now for the topic comments before reading the update. Tell everyone who has a close relationship with the 3 of you why you broke up, your ex-girlfriend and ex-friend. I hope may try to change the narrative and make you look bad. Also, go no contact with both of them, block them. They are not worth your time. Your ex-girlfriend is a whore and your friend is not any better. You dodged a bullet. You are young and will find a better lover and better friends. Also, don't let people try to make you forgive what they did to you. You don't have to be the bigger person with people who have no morals. I hope you get better, honey. I know it's hard. You deserve so much better. You are still young and this is a double betrayal. Make sure to tell people so these two don't twist the narrative. Also, get some therapy and push yourself to focus on college or something that will distract you. Fall into the gym or what have you. Move to a different place when you can go to college or transfer depending. The best revenge to do is to be the best you can be. Years from now, you'll look back and be like, dang, I dodged a bullet. He was never your friend. No good friend would ever sleep with your girl. Stay in no contact with both of them. You're already going to college. You're going to make new friends. Enjoy your university day as free and single man, at least for the first years, to get laid with different women and get your confidence, then find a nice, loyal girl. Tell the families to leave you the hell alone, because they should feel ashamed to even call you. They obviously didn't do a good job on raising their kids right. Tell them to fuck off and block them. Then block your ex and ex-best friend, because they have no place in your life. Instead of her breaking up with you and they go off and date or screw, they'd rather cheat and hurt you. They both do not love or care about you at all. There is no reason for you to ever see or talk to them ever again. If you have mutual friends, tell them they have to choose or just get rid of them all. You don't need those type of people. You don't need anyone who thinks you should accept these disrespectful assholes in your life. You are not overreacting. You are not going too far. You are knowing your worth and having self-respect. Now for the update. So here's my update on my situation. Sorry this took a bit, but I decided to just look at the future for myself now after everything that's happened. So on to the update. As many of you pointed out, I had to get the truth about our breakup before the two of them can vilify me. To my and possibly your surprise, they didn't say anything about me, but they also didn't out themselves. The two of them kept quiet about the whole thing, and I couldn't stand that, watching as if nothing happened between the three of us. So I contacted as many of our mutual friends as I could to tell them. Some believed me, others thought I was in the wrong, and a few were indifferent, but all looked at J and C differently after that day, as I had many details of what they did while those POSs fucked. After I outed the two of them, I realized I needed to get away from the city. I lived here my whole life, but I had to get away. I just couldn't stand being close to C and J anymore. I was simply getting boxes of my stuff ready to move when I could, and I hear a knock at the door, and wouldn't you know, C was standing right outside. Her eyes were just bloodshot and looks like she hasn't slept in days. I barely opened it for her anyway, so I just rudely asked, "What are you doing here?" Because I'm not about to be gracious towards her and never will again. She asked to be let in to talk for a minute, and I decided to do so, but not to take her back, to just hear the excuses I know she'll come up with. She started to cry, asking for forgiveness and wanted to explain why she did what she did. I kept a straight face and didn't say a word while she was speaking. She told me how she felt neglected because of the lack of sex between us, which I guess is true. She went on to say that Jay comforted her and slowly began to fall for him as the days went on, and one thing led to another, and I had caught them soon after they became physical. After she was done, I told her that if she fell for Jay, all she had to do was tell me was that she wanted to break up, and I would have accepted them getting together afterwards. But they didn't do so. Instead, I saw my first love in bed with my best friend. I told her I was moving away after this, that I couldn't stand being in the city anymore with C and J or their family. But I didn't tell her where, because I don't want her to follow me. I saw the tears flowing even faster as she heard that. Guess she thought that we could reconcile after that happened. Well, sorry, C, but I've got other plans than to take you back. After that, I just held on to her hand. She gained a hopeful look in her eyes, and I led her to the door before pushing her out. She turned towards me, pure sadness in her eyes. "I'll never love you again. Go back to Jay. I'm sure he'll be happy to accept you fully after all. He already did so." I slammed the door in her face after that, and I heard her crying outside, but didn't care and just continued to relax and pack my stuff. As for Jay, well, never bothered with him again. Didn't speak to him, didn't respond to any of his messages, nothing. I'm done with them. Nothing will ever change that. So that's my update. Nothing too big, but hey, don't really care right now to make this my whole life story, so goodbye and have a nice day. Story 2, my 53 female ex-husband's daughter, and now she's getting married plus update. Original post, my ex-husband and I married too young. It was a classic white wedding with vows and the tradition of passing down a family ring. My ex was given his great-grandmother's wedding ring to give to me on our wedding day. We had a wonderful start, but we both really weren't ready to settle. He cheated on me and my drinking turned into alcoholism. We divorced and the ring was never really discussed, so I've kept it all this time. We married at 19 and divorced by 22. Luckily, we didn't have any kids. We went our separate ways. He found someone and remarried and had a girl and a boy. My journey has been harder. Alcoholism took many things from me, but I kept the old wedding ring, never pawned, traded, or lost it, even during some really dark times. Even though my marriage ended, it was like a memory of a better time. I've gotten clean, and so far, I'm on a long winning streak getting my life put back together. Through the gossip lines, I found out my ex is still married and his daughter, their oldest, just got engaged. I still have his great-grandmother's ring. He had talked with me before we even got married, how he wanted to pass it down to his daughter one day. We haven't talked once after all these years. I don't know if he still wants his daughter to have this ring. Maybe he's forgotten about it. I feel conflicted about what to do. It wasn't a good ending. We were so young and stupid and mutually over-entitled. Should I get in touch or let sleeping dogs lie? Mail it as a wedding gift with a card anonymously? Or say it's from me? Now for the top of comments before reading the update. Be an angel, be a complete and wonderful angel, and send him the ring with a little note that says you remember how he had hoped to give this ring to his own child, and that you wish him and the young couple every happiness. You have no legal obligation, of course, and really no moral imperative, but we don't get that many chances in life to give someone as much joy in a single gesture as you would by putting that ring back into his family line. Get in touch and ask if he wants it for his daughter. I may be biased, but I am a pretty sentimental person, but if it was a family heirloom, I would want it back, even if the bride-to-be doesn't want it. I think your post mentioned that he had multiple children. One of them may want it for a future wedding. Yes, he has a younger son, so maybe one day for his wedding, if not his daughter's. I think I should give it back. But should I do it in a delicate or special way? I don't necessarily think so. I am admittedly assuming that his current wife knows you existed, although his children might not. I would just be straightforward and sincere. Hey, I know you probably haven't thought of me in years, but I heard through the grapevine that your child is getting married. I wanted to offer my congratulations. I still have your family ring, and I remember that you wanted to pass it down as well. I'd like to offer it back to your family if you want it. You can reach me at such and such. Best wishes. Now for the update. So, a small recap, my ex-husband and I exchanged wedding vows and I was given his great-grandmother's wedding ring. We divorced, his cheating, my drinking, and the ring was never discussed, and I ended up saving it as a keepsake all these years as a memory of another life I once had. I'm clean now for a long while, and I recently spoke with a friend who knows of my ex's family and brought up how his daughter recently got engaged. I immediately thought of the ring. It was to be passed down to our daughter if we had children. This being a family heirloom, it compelled me to return it even though it's been decades since my ex and I last spoke and not even sure he'd want it back. After posting here for advice, I decided I needed to do this for his family. I had the ring professionally cleaned at a jeweler and given a pretty box to put it in. While I was there, I took the advice of one commenter and ordered myself a ring. Instead of an inset diamond, I gave mine a ruby. It was my grandmother's name, and she never gave up on me, and it seemed fitting, considering the other ring belonged to a great-grandmother. I decided to have maybe a cliche engraving of the word forward because that's how I've made it here to where I am now, by moving forward. My ex lives about 2 hours into town, and I had a girlfriend come with me. First we drove by and there weren't any cars, so we grabbed lunch and tried again. This time someone was home, and I decided to leave things be. I had my friend go up to the door and knock. I saw him open the door. She handed him the package and pretty much headed straight back to the car. He didn't say much, she told me, seemed a bit confused, but thanked her and that was it. I didn't get to see if it made him happy or if he called his mother saying that the ring found its way home. I imagine him beaming while explaining the ring to his wife as he passes it to his daughter. It is fun to imagine. I also imagine a lot of crying and hugging, but that's probably going too far. I had a note with it. I almost wrote exactly what the commenter suggested. It's been an honor and a privilege to be part of the history of this ring. Please accept it back with the best wishes to your family and to your daughter's engagement. In a way, I kind of like not knowing how everyone reacted. I can daydream about it in my own fairy tale. It didn't include any way to contact me, just my name. I found him and feel if he wants to, he'll find me. But I don't see much point. Our time was short and it ended, and this is probably the best closure I never expected. It makes my heart lighter. Thank you all for helping and sharing this with me. Story 3. I found out that he did it again. I, 25 female, have been with my partner, 24 male, for 5 years now. 4 of them were long distance. We actually celebrated our anniversary last month. I was trying very hard to trust him, and he promised me that he would do everything he could to earn my trust. I could feel in my gut that something wasn't right, like I always did. But I needed proof. I do admit that I should not have done this, but I did a background check on the person he most recently cheated on me with and saved her number since I felt like I would need it later. I would like to add that I did not message her or save any other information, just the phone number. The past couple of months, I noticed that he was very guarded with his phone. I had asked to see his phone so that I could check it, as I had seen a nude of his as his first picture. He allowed me to check his phone, and I looked at everything possible, but there were no signs that I could see. I still felt like something was going on, so about a month later, I asked again, as he was still continuously being secretive, only for him to blame it on me for not trusting him and refusing to let me look through it. This raised red flags. I then noticed a number from my hometown that I didn't recognize calling him, and he swiped it away super quickly. Remember me saying that I felt that I would need her number? We share a phone plan, so I logged in to see his usage. I can't actually see text messages or anything revealing, just the phone numbers. It was 2, but that's all I really needed to see anyway. I compared the numbers and realized that this has been going on for those months that I was suspicious of him. I've confronted him. He confirmed it was the same girl. I'm not even hurt anymore, just angry as hell. She actually reached out to me after I confronted him because he ended it with her and blocked her. At first, we held animosity towards each other due to the misunderstandings that he never bothered to clear up, but talking to her was what I needed. She told the whole truth and answered my questions as I did hers. I can't say we're friends now, but we have a respect for each other as he lied to both of us. He finally gave me all the answers to my questions and told me the whole truth, since I told him I would just ask her for the screenshots if he didn't. He doesn't want to lose me. He begged a little, but ultimately allowed me to decide for myself what I wanted. I told him the only way I could consider staying with him was if he made the sole effort to finding a couples therapist as well as an individual therapist. I will find my own individual therapist at the beginning of the year, as my health plan will change and it's harder to find doctors that accept the new one I'll get. My rules, if he didn't want me to leave, ended up being as follows. No touching unless I initiate. It will not change until I feel more comfortable with the idea. My love language is touch and his is quality time. He won't be affected as much as I will, but I'm very uncomfortable with the idea of him touching me right now without me initiating it. He needs to tell his friends what happened. We're a very fairy tale looking couple when we're with others, and having that sudden shift will bring questions that I really don't feel like answering. He must find a therapist, both individual and couples therapist, by the end of the year, even if the appointment won't be until next year. I'm allowed full access to his phone at all times for any reason. Of course, I won't ask for it 24/7 or anything of the sort, but the second he argues with me over looking at it, I leave. He has to show through actions how sorry he is. He has to put in the work to earn my trust and allow me to trust him again at my own pace. If the therapist we end up going to for couples therapy ends up finding our relationship is unsalvageable, I leave. I'm just so tired of feeling like a doormat. This is the 4th time he's cheated on me, and he tends to repeat with the same people, though it's never been physical cheating until now. I always have this sixth sense feeling when he does too. I'd like for this relationship to work out, as we've seriously considered marriage and starting a family. He has been my support through everything as best as he can. I've been pregnant by this man twice, though they're both angel babies now. I mostly just needed to get this all out. I moved across the country to be with him and have absolutely no one. My closest family is 6 hours away, and my friends are all in my hometown, which is over 1,700 miles away. It feels a lot better being able to let it all out and also have my rules written down. If you've read this far, thank you for taking the time to listen. And now for the advice. I'm so sorry that you're dealing with this. I almost moved clear across the country from my ex-partner, but I had gut feelings and had to figure things out. Things I didn't want to know. I think it's very healthy you have your boundaries. Just make sure you stick to them. Did you have these boundaries in your past? Cheating 4 times is a lot. Of course, this is your life and your choices. The only thing that I will say is always trust your gut. Sending you love, and my inbox is open if you ever need to talk. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't have these boundaries before, but I do plan on keeping them. I have one family member that is aware of what's going on and will help me leave if it comes down to it. This is his last chance. I know my worth and I'm no longer willing to compromise on these things. He has to prove that he's willing to spend his whole life earning my trust now. I'm just so tired of feeling like a doormat. I would be willing to bet that each time you caught him, you established boundaries. He acted as though he was remorseful, said all the right things, and stepped right over you to cheat 4 times that you know of. Please show yourself the respect that he is not. It takes seconds to unblock someone. Sharing location is easily manipulated by leaving his phone where he says it is. Checking his phone wasn't reliable. What is a therapist honestly going to do? So many cheaters continue to cheat throughout the therapy. He will only get out of what he puts into it. You cannot force him to have insight or understand the hurt he caused. He keeps showing you exactly who he is. Why won't you believe that? I hope you find someone who respects you and loves you the way that he refuses to. This sub is full of too many people who have learned the hard way. If they are untrustworthy before marriage and children, they are untrustworthy afterwards. You deserve better. Going on to story 4, Am I the A-hole? My sister told us not to let her kids go and we listened. My husband and I have twins, Jack and Clara. They made a new friend, Josh. He came to our house multiple times and slept over once. They wanted to go to his place. We've met his parents. They looked very responsible. After a couple of visits, my son told me that Josh's older sister, 18 or 19, is weird. When she watched them play a video game or something, she would always seem to linger and weirdly watch them. She attempts to talk to them but doesn't really say anything. She tried to get closer to them, but they don't like it when she does that. It wasn't surprising to me. When we went to visit once, we talked about her kids and theirs, including Josh's sister. If she had friends, she wouldn't have tried to befriend younger kids. One day, our kids was having a sleepover at Josh's in addition to another friend, Sarah. We dropped them off, said hi to the parents, and left. Clara is a very light sleeper. If anyone walks into the room, she'll wake up. Since Josh sometimes snores, his parents prepare the guest room for Clara to sleep in. The guest room is besides Josh's, his sister's, and the parents' rooms. So during that sleepover, Clara woke up and saw that Josh's sister was in her room standing by the door. The girl said that the air conditioner didn't work in her room and she felt hot. She apologized and left. I don't know how the girl managed to walk in, close the door, and wander in the room without Clara waking up. After the girl left, Clara stayed awake for a while and then went to check on her brother and go to the bathroom. She walked and saw the girl leaving Josh's room where Josh, Jack, and Sarah were sleeping. The girl said that she forgot her charger in there. She was holding a charger. So Clara didn't think she was lying, but it was scary at night. She told Clara to go and sleep. Unless she didn't like the guest room, she could sleep in her parents' room or hers. Clara said thanks, but I'm comfortable in the guest room. According to Clara, the girl was very calm and composed, not fazed at all by her being seen acting like this, as if she wasn't caught. As I said, we knew the girl was weird. My husband and I didn't see anything so alarming, but my sister did. I always listen to my sister because I'm not good at decision making and judging. I've always tried to learn from her, but she is more socially aware. My husband is just like me. We decided to not let our kids go there unless the big sister wasn't in the house. So, when they told us they wanted to go the next weekend, we didn't allow it. Our kids didn't complain much, but Josh and his parents weren't happy when we told them our kids would only come if their daughter wasn't there because she is questionable and unsettling to be around. The parents were mad and my husband said I was rude. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.